Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some PathOfExile discussion. Want to keep this one really quick. We're currently about 2.25 days out from patch notes for patch 3.24, assuming Grinding Gear games maintain recent schedules. I wanted to provide one little tip that I think is really important to keep in mind when you're thinking about your league start plans, and that is, don't just think about a character, but think about a holistic strategy that involves your Atlas tree and the type of content you want to run at endgame. I want to present two different Atlas trees that I think are designed for very different types of builds, so as to illustrate the point. Neither of these Atlas trees are particularly optimized. I'll put a link to both of them down in the description below, but I'm sure that you can do better. The key point though is that this one is an Expedition, Breach, Eater of Worlds, and to a lesser extent Betrayal Atlas passive tree. This is the sort of passive tree that will work really well on a character that can hit the whole screen really effectively, but maybe doesn't hit all that hard. This is something that would be amazing if your character was Varlark Ignite, if they were a Bleed Bow character, a whole lot of other potential options as well. But it's also an Atlas that Trapper builds are going to do really poorly on. Now let's look at a very different type of Atlas. This is one that is all about getting to the map boss fast, killing the map boss, and picking up a few interesting things along the way. It specs hard into Heist in order to just pick up those smugglers caches that take next to no time to interact with, and it specs into all the bonuses that you can get for killing the map boss, plus ways of speccing additional map bosses onto every map, so that you can then effectively triple the rewards that you would get from nodes like Remnants of the Past, Conquered Conquerors, and Vivid Memories. This is a simple Atlas passive tree that is optimized for a character that can move fast through maps, not necessarily killing everything on the way, but then when it gets to a particular area, it can then dump a whole lot of damage at once. In short, this is something I would consider if you were thinking of playing a Trapper in patch 3.24. Then you might want an Atlas passive tree like this. The final takeaway from this video, don't copy either of these Atlas passive trees, they're far from perfect, but think holistically about your Atlas passive tree and your character selection at the same time. Let them influence each other. So if you are absolutely set that you want to play a Cobra Lash character, then play Cobra Lash, but design an Atlas that works for Cobra Lash. If you're absolutely set that you want to play an Ultimatum Atlas, then play an Ultimatum Atlas, but design a character around that particular Atlas. And remember that you can always respec your Atlas. It's usually going to cost you a divine and a half, and that'll get you enough Orbs of Unmaking to respec your entire Atlas if you need to do that, and you may not need to do the entire thing. That's all I've got for now. May your Val Orbs have interesting results.